play a little bit of guitar, but I mainly make music using computers. So I produce songs kind of from the ground up, putting together all the elements kind of in the computer, and that's what I teach students to do at MTSU. So what we're going to do today is we're going to have a session and talk about at-home recording. And how many of you have tried to record at home just a little bit, maybe on your phone, or maybe with a computer, or maybe with a tablet?
I do.
Great. So I'm going to give you just some recommendations here. So what I have up here is a picture of a really big recording studio with a really big sound. And a lot of times when we think about recording, we think about that, right? We think we have to go into this big expensive studio and pay all this money. But the truth is that most of us, or most people, end up recording in a studio that's like this. Whether you get a Mac or a PC, that you choose a computer that has at least 8 gigabytes of RAM, you'll be fine with. 16 would be great if you could get 16 gigabytes of RAM, but 8 is okay. And then just try to find something with a lot of fast processing power, because when you're recording, your computer has to work really hard to make sure it's capturing everything. So that's usually the first question that I get. And then the second question is usually, well, then what kind of software should I get? Right? That's usually the next question. So let's talk about some options for you. The first thing is, if you've never tried it, if you've never tried any recording at home and you have a Mac, you should try GarageBand. Raise your hand. Anybody tried GarageBand before? It's pretty amazing, and it's for free. Totally for free. You can go to the App Store and you can download it for free. Great for beginners if you're ready for the next level. I would try Logic from Mac. It's $199, which sounds expensive, but when it comes to audio stuff, it's actually pretty cheap these days. So I have a computer. I have the software, but how do I get my voice or my instrument actually in the computer?
An interface.
Yeah, exactly. And so what you're going to need is called an audio interface. And so I have this picture up here of this very small box. And it's got some inputs on the front where you can plug in a microphone and a guitar. And on the back here, what we have is a USB cable, and it connects directly to your computer. And what's cool is, if you fire up GarageBand and you have this plugged into your computer, it will recognize it in the preferences as an audio interface, and you can hit the ground running. And so you plug your mic in here, you plug your keyboard in here, the audio, you plug your guitar in here, and then it works directly with your software. If you're a songwriter, and I want to play my song into the computer, what kind of keyboard do I need? Do I need this big, huge, fancy, expensive heavy piano thing? And then you plug this into your computer, and then in GarageBand, or Logic, or whatever, you pull up whatever sound you want to play, right? Your piano sound, your organ sound. And then the keyboard, you just use this to actually play the notes, and the software is actually what voices the sound. It's really silly, but blankets are your best friend when you're recording at home. I have them all over my home studio. I have them for 2 reasons. The first reason is to help try to keep sounds out a little bit, right? So, and then the second reason is to try to keep the reflections of my voice from bouncing around the room. Because what will happen is, because of acoustics, if you don't have anything around you, it'll bounce, and then that will go back to the microphone too, and it can kind of affect the quality of your sound. Next thing advice I'll give you is, when you're recording anything at home, not just vocals, do several takes, right? Don't just do one and go, all right, that was amazing, I'm done. Right? Do a few takes, okay? And then you can do what we do in the industry. It's called comping something together. And what that means is, you take a bunch of takes and you edit together the best ones, right? Justin Timberlake, when he records his vocals, he will sometimes sing a song 90 to 100 times. Can you imagine? And then this is what they do. They go back through, I know it kind of sounds crazy, but they will pick the best words even and put together a whole phrase. So when you hear him sing, I'm not Justin Timberlake, I don't sound like him, but when you hear him sing like that, that can be 5 different takes of different blurbs of words that he's saying. And that's just part of the music industry. So do a bunch of different passes, and then you cut and paste and edit together the best one, right? Because sometimes we don't sing perfect on every try, and we can kind of piece together the best one. Next, the last bit of advice I'll give you for vocals is, because you recorded in a dry space, now you can add maybe a little bit of reverb, right? Because it makes it sound more real and less kind of fake and home record, and you can add just a little bit of reverb, even maybe just a little bit of stereo delay, kind of makes it sound like it's in an actual controlled space. So those are some vocal recording tips. Let's keep going. You guys are being so amazing, and we're going to have some time at the end for questions in case you haven't been. You guys are like one of my best audiences ever.
My name is Kintz. I am a music industry banker. Has anyone here ever met a music industry banker before? All right, so I consider myself 100% in the music industry, but I also consider myself 100% in the financial services industry. I've been a banker for 20 years, and for 10 of those years I've been a music banker. What we're going to talk about today is the music industry. We're going to try to understand why do they call this place Music City. More money flows to Nashville and out of Nashville for the music industry than any other city in the United States. And that is one of the primary reasons it's Music City. I'm so glad no one said because Lower Broadway has honky tonks. Thank you for not answering with that answer. But I'm going to play something for you that is of significance to your schedule. It's of significance to why Nashville is Music City, and we can use it as an example to kind of talk through the way the music industry works. So, y'all would give a little listen, if I can get this to work.
There must be some way out of here. Say the joker to the thief. There's too much confusion. I can't get no relief.
Okay, so does anyone know what song that is? We didn't get to hear the chorus.
Jimi Hendrix.
All on the Watchtower.
It is All on the Watchtower. Why'd you say Jimi Hendrix?
Because he
cut it.
first.
He did not. So the person singing that song was actually Bob Dylan, but Jimi Hendrix made that song more famous than Bob Dylan. And the reason you said Jimi Hendrix is right, it's the right answer, is because he's the first huge artist to cut that song. So I chose that song for a myriad of reasons to listen to. One of the greatest reasons is because that song, what you just heard through that little tiny speaker, was recorded behind you. It was recorded in Columbia Studio A by Bob Dylan on his album John Wesley Harding. And Bob Dylan loved to record in Nashville. And one of the main reasons why Nashville historically was Music City had a lot to do with our studios, a lot to do with our musicians, unbelievable session musicians. They had their own language for reading music. You should see the sheets that they could read off of, which was just a bunch of numerical numbers. It's not the music you're used to looking at if you guys read music. And in all facets of the music industry, not music industry banking, publishers, they are actually competing. They're trying to all get their songs cut or in movies or TV, and they're all competing for the same songwriters, but they actually talk all the time and they collaborate. The same thing happens with the performing rights organizations. CSAC, you're in their headquarters building right now. BMI, if you look that way, that's their headquarters building. ASCAP, their headquarters building. Those performing rights organizations who are charged with collecting performance royalties on behalf of their songwriter members and those songwriters' publishers, they collaborate. They throw number one parties together. That doesn't happen in New York or Los Angeles, the other two music hubs in the United States. You know, what does a music industry banker do? What do you guys think I do a lot of?
Give money to people to produce.
Give money to people to produce? I do that. We lend money usually to companies to produce. I do less lending to individuals. What else? I would say, I'm in the risk business. I evaluate risk. Because what my main job that I do as a banker is, one, we hold people's dollars. So hopefully you'll trust First Tennessee Bank as the oldest and largest bank headquartered in Tennessee to hold your dollars and you know they're safe there. Because this industry creates celebrity. There's also tons more people, thousands and thousands and thousands of people in this town and throughout the United States whose names you've never heard of. Again, I'm 100% in the music industry. Y'all never heard of my name before. And I would say Misty is in the music industry as well. Y'all had not heard her name before, probably, I'm guessing. Record labels, yes. So we talked about record labels. They were the ones that made all that money in the 90s selling compact discs. A source of capital for the music industry. And when I say that, I know that's kind of banker speak. I'm thinking they put equity dollars, meaning full risk dollars, that if it doesn't pan out with an artist they sign, they lose all the money. It's not a loan like what I do. It is equity dollars invested in the artist that they deem to sign because they think that artist has the kind of talent that they want to have. Live is an awesome spot to be lending money. Who here has been to a concert lately? Who feels like they overpaid for their ticket? It's interesting. Why'd you overpay? The unique experience. And we're in a society where everyone wants them to see them a little unique experience. They can be like, look at me, and there's you two behind me on the stage like 700 yards away, but it's awesome, and look at me. So this look at me thing is driving a lot of this. But at the end of the day, extremely healthy part of the music industry with the highest growth potential going forward because people want unique experience. And so we like lending money into that. How do we lend money? Anytime you're a bank, all you're trying to do is get someone from point A to point B. We're in a cluster. All these people and firms are located here. I can walk to their offices and I don't have to get on an airplane. We do have a lot of business in other states, but this is where we have the primary business. Thank y'all for having me. If y'all have any more questions, I'll leave you some cards too. All right. Oh, you do. I just put them on the corner here. Y'all have a great rest of your day. I'm going to link up with y'all later today.
What does it mean to be a producer? Does anybody know? Can anybody raise their hand and say, what is it? Do they even know what you know what a producer is? Yeah.
Oh, what does it mean to be a producer?
Yeah.
Producing songs
Yeah.
that they came up with.
Yeah, actually.
That are already made.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually making the song happen. It could be anywhere from actually programming the song to pulling the people together in a room to make it happen. So back in the day, a producer was the person, and it hasn't changed a lot, but it's changed a little bit. Let's even let's fast forward to talk about right now. If you work for a big record label, if you're a producer for a big record label, you are the person that can handle everything from like these really big budgets to working with union players to working with really big schedules and kind of dealing with big money. But you're also, as a producer, if you're working for a really big label, or if you're on a list of approved producers at a big label, you also have the big mission of literally getting the record to happen, putting the right people in the room, but also working with the artist to get their creative vision across. Now, these days, the word producer though is a little different because a producer in 2018 also means like me at home on my laptop. I'm producing my own songs, right? You're probably producing your own songs too. You're sitting down and you're actually programming the song, right? You're actually, so someone who says, oh, I'm a producer or I'm producing my own record, they might not be dealing with budgets and schedules and record labels, but they're literally programming the song. They're putting the drums together, they're putting the bass together. So the word producer has kind of changed not only over the years, but also is different depending on whether you work for a big label or whether maybe you're producing for yourself. The job of a producer is to help the artist communicate a certain emotion, right? And then help the listener engage in that emotion. Every decision that is made needs to line up with that. If you are a songwriter, if you want to be an effective producer, you should study some music. You know how sometimes your parents are really bugging you to take those piano lessons? Bugging you to take those guitar lessons? Can I tell you a secret? The best producers know how music works. We can use effects to communicate emotions. Things like reverb, things like delay can really help us communicate certain emotions. All right, so these are the three biggest tools that we have, and let's listen to some examples here. All right, I see you guys moving, dancing in your seats. All right, why is is that? Why do I see a bunch of smiles in the room?
Because
Because it's fun to dance to.
Yeah.
it's because something to dance to.
Yeah, absolutely, Maggie.
It makes you feel happy.
It's upbeat and peppy. What else about it? Can you tell me?
It's very major and really catchy too.
Yeah, it's catchy.
And also the brass, the horn too.
Yes, the brass.
It's like a
fun.
patient.
Yeah, syncopation. Great musical words, Gregory. I decided that what we would do is that we would put together a groovy song, right? So we're kind of tapping our feet earlier. So we're gonna put together a groovy song. So I just grabbed some drum loops and some guitar loops and bass loops that actually come with this program and just threw them in here. I have a bunch of clips which are kind of like loops, right? And I have a bunch of samples. It could be like a one shot here or someone saying hey or something else. And then I can decide the audio effects. I've got a bunch of effects that I can put on here. So let me just at least, the first thing I'm gonna do is show you my chunk of clay. All right, so this is just a chunk. I haven't really done anything with it yet. So this is what I got. Our groovy song. Got drums. Let's play a little bit of each. So I've got some drums here. Let's hear a little bit of the drums. So we got drums. We got bass. We got some electric guitar here. Let's hear a little bit of that. Kind of a funky thing. And then we got some horns. And I've got different parts of each of these, so if we get bored of this one, we can switch to another. So let's get your ideas on how we can sculpt this. So I've got my cards here with my email address. I'd love to continue to talk with you about being a producer. Any questions you have about gear or anything else, please email me. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you for having me out today, and I hope you have a good lunch. So we'll see you later. Good job, you guys.
And thank goodness for Miss Kim, because she was an angel in Logan's life and getting him going. So that's what this song is about, just being that person, being that angel for somebody. Are y'all ready?
Yes.
All right, I'll hush. How about that? All right.
But it never crossed your mind. But it meant the world to me. You took a little extra time. It's all I had to need. And I know you would never think I owe you anything. But I had to write this note to thank you for the hope you've given me. Just when I thought no one cared, there came an answer to my prayer. You were an angel unaware.
It was his dream to come here and sing with me on the Grand Ole Opry stage, and his name is Logan Blade. He's from Culleoka, Tennessee, right outside of Columbia, Tennessee, and at the age of 2, he was diagnosed with autism and could basically barely speak. He still can't really have a true conversation until you put a microphone in front of him. That's when he becomes Logan Blade, and he doesn't have autism anymore, and it's due largely in part to the gift of music that God's given us. And he says that I'm one of his favorite artists, and this is one of his favorite songs. And so we're going to play this here tonight. We're going to bring him out here a little later in the song, so y'all give Logan Blade a good reception when he comes out here. So. And don't go riding on that long black train. Yeah. Y'all please make welcome Mr. Logan Blade. You ready, Logan?
I can hear the whistle from a mile away. It sounds so good, but I must stay away. That train is a beauty, making everybody stare. But its only destination is the middle of nowhere.
Keep going, Logan.
Victory, go riding on that long black train. I say plain to the Father and His holy name, and don't go riding on that long black train. Yeah, watch out, brother, for that long black train. That devil's driving that long black train.
Logan Blade, everybody, y'all give it up. He's the man.
Just when I thought no one cared, they came and answered to my prayer. You were an angel unaware. And what really counts when it's all said and done are the things we do for an audience of one. Just when I thought no one cared, they came and answered to my prayer. You were an angel unaware. You were my angel unaware.
Have you been having a great time? Yes. That's awesome. Does anybody else have any more questions? Are we being shy? Is everybody being shy? Yes.
I don't have any questions, but can I tell you what I do?
Oh, yes, please.
I really did things.
No, stop it. Okay, so here. You are your autograph, sir.
Oh,
wait. Oh, you want a picture?
I just wanna be brave. I just wanna be brave.